Good morning, spiritual family. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Chico, to those of you in this room and to those of you online, because you know we are out in the world now. Now, none of you are being filmed, unless you would like to walk up behind me and, do a photo, kind of a bomb thing or a walkthrough. That'd be your choice. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. And so welcome. We are a loving spiritual oasis teaching the science of mind. We are religious science. And that can shake people up a little bit when they hear religious science. Is that some kind of woo-woo? Well, I thought it was until I heard some of the principles. And today, I will go into some of the principles and beliefs and tell you the one that we use most of the time. And it was spoken, is written, and said by Jesus. It is done unto you as you believe. And then we add, not what you think, or hope, or wish. And I add, or even used to, what you believe right now about who you are and your life. And to me, it's very empowering to know that. You are what you believe yourself to be. I usually give a lip service. That never came true. La la. Now that's the woo-woo of life. That's the wishing and hoping but not really believing. It is done unto you as you believe. This month our theme is living in love through honesty. Through honesty. Because it is done to you as you believe through you. So this month we're focusing on being honest. Honest within yourself about how you feel, what you believe, what are your ideas and desires. Those are all contributors to our goodness. And many times they've been contributors to my delinquency in life. Because, we're human. We like to sometimes follow the crowd, don't we? But if we're being honest, many times we don't want to do that. So through honesty, through our believing, for it's only through us that God, as infinite mind and spirit, works. And it works by means of a divine law. Our country works sometimes through laws. There's wishing and hoping all the way around on some of those, just like we do. But there are laws in place for how we live in the world. There's traffic laws. There's tax laws. There's laws on language now, what we can use, in our speaking if you're a public servant. And those are all for the highest good I know. To be honest, I sometimes move into judgment. And when I do, I go, oh, there I am. There's my human popping up. So it gives me an opportunity to say, okay, be honest, Michael. What's going on here? What is the fear? And so honesty is an important part of our spiritual evolution. Honestly. The material world around us began as an idea in the minds of people. And those minds have believed into the universal mind of God. With all of its infinite resources that God has, an infinite mind. And thus created this experience we have today. It's pretty powerful thinking, isn't it? It has created this moment in our lives, in your life, in my life. Because every belief has led to here. I've said this before many times. I like being redundant with that one. Every belief has led to right here. Here. Honestly. Today, let's celebrate being here. No matter what has gotten us here, let's celebrate being in this moment. Are you glad you're here?
Sure. Yes.
Are you? Are you really glad to be here and alive today?
Yes.
Because sometimes we come into life and we go, yeah, if I could just get through the day, tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will be better. Or maybe you think, some of you have thought, well, I think this could be the last day of my life. You've been so depressed or down or at your human wit's end. And that's being honest. And that's when you call someone. That's why we have practitioners here. There's a lot going on in the world, and it brings us our humanness down a bit. But to be honest, that's where a person is at the moment. It's not the end. It's only a thought away from something greater. So, will you say with me 3 times? And I'd like you to notice the emphasis. I am glad I'm alive. I am glad that I'm alive. I'm glad that I'm alive. How's it feel?
Amen.
Now see, a simple mantra like that, within your own mind, but speak it out loud when you're home. The walls will say, okay, yeah, right on. Or try it in the shower, you get some echo back, like people are with you. They're supporting you in the shower. They do me. Maybe it's just me here. But each morning affirm, I am glad I am alive. And why affirm this? Because this affirmation sets up and opens the portals. Another nice word I love. The portals in God's mind. A vital and supportive and aware your day becomes you. It sets up for all of us something wonderful in the day. Now, we can't determine what that is yet in our day. But our mind is ready. We're open. We're expectant. And I like that. It's a feel good. It's a sweet spot that gets to be touched when we say, I am glad I'm alive. Each time you affirm you're good, which, that's your God nature. Did you know that? Good, God, same thing. So I grew up hearing, well, good God, look what happened. It wasn't necessarily my perspective was, it wasn't a great thing. But what an affirmation. Good God, look what's happened. Even in the midst of something maybe less than. Because many times that's a stop sign of life that says, hey, time to look around, time to rethink, time to reaffirm that I'm glad I'm alive. What I've come to in my research for my lesson today is that every time you affirm you're good, that aliveness flows and rises and radiates through you. And this portal, this God's aliveness in you, is the sweet spot of infinite possibility. Infinite possibility. Why is it called infinite? I ask myself that. Because I can't figure it out. It takes a lot of pressure off me, We don't have to figure it out. We just have to get in touch with the feeling. I call it God's spiritual setup, because Spirit sets it up for us. It's a paving of the supportive experiences that you're about to have. First you believe, and then you honestly know into infinite mind. And then you trust the divine right action to demonstrate for you. It does. Sometimes we miss it. Tell a story. Thank you, Spirit. I moved my hair salon into this building. And a lot of the clients, first time, were coming up the freeway. And one specific client we had told, okay, head north on 99, take the Eden Road exit. You with me? Turn left, come over the freeway, and you'll see Philadelphia Square. Take the first left in, that's Constitution Drive, and here we are in the Old Sweets Church. They come over the freeway and they see Philadelphia Square. They take the first left. They're back on the freeway. They didn't get all the information quite the right way. Well, what'd they do? She said, oh, I just laughed and I was early, so I just had a little longer route getting in. And sometimes it takes us a few more turns and a little longer drive to get to where we're going. It's all in how we manage what's demonstrated for us. So what is trust? When I say trust in your divine right action to demonstrate. Well, trust is defined thusly. Depend, to entrust, to believe. Depend upon, entrust, and to believe in. So to trust God's gift of aliveness invigorates this soil within us, this soil of our mind. It sweetens the pot, so to speak. It adds a little bit of spiritual manure, to our field of possibility. My mother used to buy those. She used to buy those. They were cotton rolls. This is way back in the olden days, folks. And they had little seeds in them. You remember? Anybody besides me? Okay, there's 2, 3, 4 people. Anyway, you'd roll them out, you put some soil over it, and it was kind of a surprise what flowers you got out of it. That's kind of like life. We plant something in the soil and think, oh, I didn't expect that, but isn't that pretty? It's a different flower. That's like the soil of our mind. Ernest Holmes tells us about trusting. Be still and know that I am God. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God within me. This is a nice affirmation for us. I am the principle of peace within me. I am the manifestation of love within me. My mind is poised in peace and beauty. All sense of fear or doubt is gone. I rest in calm trust and rely on the law of spirit to bring good into my experience. We sometimes leave out the last part of that in our lives. We affirm, we declare, we say we know, but we can't let go. Fear has a grip on parts of it. So that's why we keep doing prayer work, doing our affirmation, because each time it's a little more peeling away of the doubt in our minds. And as we get into that peeled away space, that sweet spot, this is to know, to believe, to trust, and to let go. I would suggest at this moment that Jackie Gleason, the comedian, remember him? I would suggest he was a religious scientist. Was he? I don't know. I'm assuming. Because he had a wonderful show called The Honeymooners. And he declared, what? How sweet it is. How sweet it is. I don't know about you, but when I heard him say that, I felt good. It made me smile. And even though they went through all this discourse in the show, all with the neighbors and with Alice, and it was, verbal kind of abuse, back in the day. At the end, all was resolved. How sweet it is. But he affirmed that in the beginning. It's a great example of how the affirmation must not get lost in the demonstrations that occur in between, because sometimes it's a clearing. It's like taking a Swiffer, to your mind. There's still some dirt, but you got to keep going back and forth and back and forth. And in the end, it's clean. It's clean. How sweet it is with our sound system. How sweet it is. Last week I felt so good. Had 3 days up in the mountains to breathe, and I get some information that Sam's car needs some mechanical attention. Well, I'm not here. So all of a sudden, all of this information goes out, and some people can't be here. They plan to be someplace else. Okay, so I'm in the mountains. I'm at a high elevation. I'm being calm. I can text. A little bit of fear. Honestly. Just a little bit of fear. But as it turned out, Pat here, she says that I stepped her through it to get things started. And then Andy, who had other plans, for some reason, I understood, and he walks in, and you know what? And Diane Vanderwater was here. It came together, those of you who were here, quite well for Reverend Eileen. Now, all was resolved, and it was perfect. And that's the example of you can't always set it up as you think it should be ahead of time as the perfect out picture. All was resolved. Life is for us if we permit it to be. But there are times in life that feels like this or that is never going to get better. And then you find out it needed to happen to reveal a greater good, that sweet spot that we get to. I don't know why it has to occur, all this stuff in life that happens for us, not to us, for us. I heard a profound statement in my early studies of this teaching. It's in a conversation with the late Dr. Tom Costa, who is the pastor of the Palm Desert Church. He said this: people come into your life to go out of your life. People come into your life to go out of your life. What in the heaven does that mean? And I said, well, why did you say that, and what does it mean, Dr. Tom? And he said, I said it first to get your attention. Did it get yours? Yeah. Second, each person adds to your spiritual unfoldment. And then, when your moment with that person is complete, whether it's a one-time introduction or a long-time relationship, opening the door for a stranger, a smile, an eye-to-eye contact, or death, your agreement has been realized. It's complete. It's resolved. I said, I get it here. But not as easy down here, is it? We get it up here, most of the things in life we teach and talk about, but not down here. Well, I got an example driving this morning to church. I'm on the same freeway, heading to Eaton Road. And I was pulling up alongside a woman, and she had a horse trailer and a big truck, and she was just I saw her tapping the wheel. She was having a good time. I think listening to music. She was smiling. I looked over and she smiled, and I smiled, and I went. And she went. It was that wonderful, sweet spot moment, and you can feel it in you, can't you? It was just that. I'll probably never see her again. It's okay, but it was wonderful, and that's how every moment should be. When I look out and see into your eyes, that's what I love. I look into your sweet spots because this is where you see it. I was alive, and it felt real good. I am grateful she came in and out of my life. It wasn't a long-term relationship, you know. Just gonna be forever. I didn't have to judge her truck or her horse, so it was just that moment, just that moment. It's not as easy with people we have known a long time, longtime friends. To move forward is not as easy many times because we get attached. We get attached. It wasn't as easy when my partner died 42 years ago. I had sadness and anger and regret. Anger, why'd you do this to me? Sadness, not here in the physical realm, and regret, not having more time together. Honest. That's honest. But I've been enriched in my evolution because the memories are great, and that's my sweet spot. Had a great life. It was good. I loved it. But the reality of life is that my call is to stay alive in the goodness into which I was born, as are each one of you. I was birthing a whole new me. The truth is, I did birth a whole new me. But I rebirthed it, a new, whole me. So, I will close. I have a lot more to talk about, though. Yeah, pardon me. So, minutes? No, I have a few more minutes. This clock is fast. Thank you so much. I only have about 40 more minutes to go. Wow. So, it's a reminder to stay in the sweet spot of life. Stay grounded and reminded of the goodness that is in your life, has come into your life, and also has moved out of it. Because it makes way for whatever is supposed to be next in our life. So I want to share a few thoughts from Reverend Louis' September 29th, 2013 Sunday message. It was just 3 weeks prior to his transition on October 19th. Titled Watch Me Grow. Perfect. Right to it. Oh, look at that. Isn't that perfect? Thank you, Louis. He opened with these words. Beautiful beings and wonderful ones, good morning. Life is so good and you make it that way. So he went on to say, for the past 30 plus years, I've experienced and expressed a great ride in the study of religious science and how the science of mind has enriched and is a blueprint and guide for living my daily life. Within, I know that every circumstance and condition appearing in life contributes to my spiritual growth and expansion. One moment at a time allows God's wisdom to fill my path with peace, love, and the intellect to create the life I choose. So far, maturity is questionable. Spirit whispers, have fun. Reverend Louis lived in the moment of livingness. The sweet spot of God's love and grace is yours and mine now. Open the portal to your spiritual magnificence. And do that this week when you recognize the infinite good within you. How sweet it is when you let God be God in your life. So I close this morning's celebration with another Jackie Gleason moniker. And away we go. So it is.